Mend is an immersive experience, and we highly recommend the use of headphones while listening. For a full list of content warnings, please see the show notes.
These are the things I hear. The soft undulations of a caterpillar as it shuffles through the leaf litter nearby. The hushed murmur of nascent leaves in the spring, and the dry crackle as they fall to the forest floor, cast down by autumn's breath. The confessions of sparrows, the sharp cries of conflict, and the haunting silence that follows. The roar of the winter winds, the chirps of angry squirrels, and the mournful hymn of owls. And if you listen patiently enough, flowers slowly unfurling, reaching towards the light. The night was inescapably hot. The air clung to me like an unwanted suitor. Invasive. Presumptuous. The trees around me drooped, motionless. Even they didn't want to move in the oppressive heat. My uniform stuck to my skin, damp with sweat and blood that wasn't mine. At least I didn't think it was mine. I'd lost track long ago. They had handed me a gun, told me to fight, told me to pull the trigger in the face of my enemy, and if that didn't work, stick the pointy end in their bellies. So I did. I pulled the trigger. I slashed open men who once laughed and danced and sung, watched as their guts tumbled onto the earth, watched as the life left their eyes. It never got easier. Not for me. That night, as the thick, dissonant heat forced itself on me, she appeared. It was her. It had to be. I'd only heard her voice before. It came to me on the darkest of nights. Those nights I could practically smell the hemp rope around my neck, or feel the biting sting of the blade on my wrists.
Stay,
she would whisper.
Stay.
So gentle. So loving. She told me to stay. So I stayed. I stayed through the brutality of life. I stayed through the cruelty and the hollow nights. Awake and ashamed. They wanted me to be a man. So they handed me a gun and told me to kill. So I killed. I obeyed like a good soldier. Tell me where to sleep, tell me where to shit, tell me who to kill. Never mind the enemy were once my neighbours, never mind their families prayed to the same God as mine for their return. Never mind the deep longing in our souls that each one of us might see the twilight of our lives. The dream of slow, metronome creaks of rocking chairs, of papery skin, and hazy memories of a life well lived. I take that away from them. I am death. So when I see her radiant beauty discordant with my grisly surroundings, I check my body for wounds, certain that I have incurred a fatal injury, and she as an angel come to release me from my sin. But she tells me,
"Run,"
she says.
"Run."
So I run. I drop my bayonet on the forest floor and I don't look back. I run deep into the bosom of the woods, and when my breath starts to come in ragged gasps, I run harder, faster. The full moon illuminates my way. She guides me. With my lungs burning like a crackling fire, I finally rest. No. I collapse. And the pain of 25 years heaves from my mouth. Alone and with only the night animals to witness, I wail like some injured creature. I am an injured creature. I indulge my self-loathing for a moment, but I know I must continue onward. My company will come searching for me when I don't return from patrol. I hope they find my gun and assume I was taken. But if they don't...
"Run,"
she says.
"Run."
So I run. I run for miles, praying that I'll not circle back accidentally, praying that I'm far enough away to be free. I finally stop to catch my breath. The forest air is intoxicating. The heat and shortness of breath makes my head spin. I lean against a sturdy oak tree, panting. It is the grandest oak tree I have ever seen. For a moment, the child I was calls out, longing to swing up into its branches and howl at the moon. As I stare up at it, the leaves start to shimmer with movement. I've run so much that the night itself is now breathing along with me. The delicate breeze cools the sweat on my brow, caressing my face. A movement catches my eye. It's her. She stands in the clearing like a radiant gossamer in the moonlight. She turns and looks at something on the ground. Her face glows a faint golden hue before a mosaic of shadows filters across it. Patterns dance about her, cavorting like carefree children in the summer sun. I take a step closer to her. Then...
Friend or foe?
What?
Friend or foe? Speak! If you do not say which, I will shoot you now and find out the answer later.
Friend!
I don't believe you!
Friend!
You lie!
Please, I am a friend. I mean no harm. I mean no harm.
Down on your knees!
Don't shoot that!
Down!
I am a friend!
I will decide that. And if you are a foe, I will not mourn your loss.
I am a friend, please!
Stand up. Come into the light. Let me see you.
I am unarmed.
I cannot tell in this light. Are you blue or grey? Which are you? Answer me! Which are you, blue or grey?
I am Misha.
I didn't ask for your name.
I know. But I gave it to you anyway.
Your colour. What is your colour?
Well, you mean these clothes I wear? This uniform? That is how you will define me. By what the world has told me I am, not by what is in my heart.
What do I care of your heart?
You are hurt.
That doesn't make me any less fearsome. I don't need my leg to shoot you.
I will sit here with you in darkness. I will share this space with you, and in the morning, when dawn reveals the colours we wear, then you can make your choice. You can decide then if I am friend or foe.
I am warning you now. If that uniform is blue, you are a dead man.
Well, we shall see. I sit down at the base of the majestic oak, in the shell of a blue uniform that never really fit me, in the body that never really felt like my own. We sit in silence most of the night. I try to tell him things, but he rattles his gun and scolds me. I can hear his breath growing more and more ragged as the night wears on. I watch him wipe his brow more often than seems necessary, even in the thick heat of this summer evening. He is in pain. He passes out just before dawn. I cautiously approach and kneel next to him. A bullet wound has torn through his right calf. It is poorly wrapped in a blood-soaked linen. His left hand looks crushed, almost certainly broken. His breath is reedy and thin. Sweat covers his forehead. A single bead breaks free and snakes down the side of his face, resting for a moment on his jaw, before dropping into a soft shadow on his neck. I gently place my hand into that shadow, where I lay my fingers to feel for his pulse. His heart beats weakly against my skin. His stubble is rough, his skin warm, his lips are slightly parted. The heat of his breath brushes the inside of my wrist. His eyes flutter open for just a moment. They are the colour of cobalt. The morning light breaks through the canopy, bleeding onto our uniforms. Two halves of the same whole. His grey, mine blue.
I knew you were blue.
No. I am Misha. He passes out and sleeps for most of the day. By the time he comes to, I've redressed his wound, packed it with medicinal plants like my grandmother taught me. She said I would be a healer. I believed her, until they handed me a gun and taught me to kill. I collect water from a nearby stream, forage berries and mushrooms and other things the forest provides. He finally stops threatening to kill me after the 5th day. He even tells me his name. Zeljko.
Why are you helping me? We are enemies.
Are we? What have you done to me that I should hate you?
Your uniform is blue. That is all I need to know to hate you.
But what have I done? What have I done to you?
You burned my village. You slaughtered my people. Rivers of blood and bone spilled by your kind.
My kind? I am human. We are human.
You are animals. Demons. You slit my wife's throat in front of me. Forced me to watch her blood soak the ground.
No, I didn't! Oh, I'm sorry! I'm sorry! I hate it! I hate it all! I wish I could wash it all away! I wish that shedding my sins could be as easy as taking off this uniform. But we can't, can we? We've nothing else to wear. Would that I could burn these colours, set our clothes ablaze with the heat of my fury, my regret.
This colour is my pride. This colour defines me. Do you know how many blue uniforms I have turned red? I fight for this colour. I would die for this colour.
You almost did.
I didn't ask for your help.
You didn't have to.
Why do you think he helps you?
His kind are not to be trusted.
His kind are not to be trusted.
Without him, I would starve. My leg is not yet healed.
He will nurse you back to health just so he can slit your throat in your sleep. Just like they slit mine.
I will avenge you.
Why have you not killed him yet? You are as useless now as you were when you let me die. When you let them kill me. You are no man.
Why do you care for him?
Because it's what I've always wanted to do.
Are you not afraid he will kill you?
Every night when I close my eyes, I expect it to be the last time I see the world. So each morning when I awake, it's a delightful surprise. The dawn casts her radiance across the forest, the birds sing. I open my eyes and see his scowling face, disapproving of my very existence, but taking no pains to end it.
You are a good man.
No. No, I am not.
You would change that if you could?
With all my heart.
Over here. These berries are delicious and good for healing.
I will bring these to him. The days pass. I bring him berries and healing herbs. He tells me stories. First of his bravado, his feats of strength and conquest. And later he tells me of when he was young. I prefer these stories. When he tells those, his face becomes human, real. Hours fall away as he relives his mythic childhood. He forgets that he's supposed to hate me, but something inevitably leads him back. I always notice the moment it happens, the subtle shift when he remembers I am sitting across from him. His enemy. I hold my breath, desperately wanting to throw myself at his feet and beg for absolution, wishing that he would lay his hands on me and tell me in his soft, dark voice that I am forgiven. I lean against the solid strength of my oak tree and listen to him talk. He tells me outrageous tales of his youth, of joy, of prosperity, of times when the forests were lands of enchantment, of curiosity, of play. Not the hostile and forbidding places they are now. He tells me about the days when the only things to fear in the forest were wolves and imagination. Lost in stories of the past. For the first time I see him smile. One morning I wake up and open my eyes, ready to see his scowling face greet me. But he is not scowling. He almost looks excited. He speaks.
There is a river nearby.
A stream, yes.
Take me there.
Why?
Because I stink.
He's never let me get this close to him before. I guide his arm over my shoulders and pull him close to me. For a moment he loses balance and leans closer into my chest. I take his weight and gently right him again. The going is slow, but at last we arrive at the stream. He breathes in the fresh, clear air and smiles.
Well?
Well, what?
I've come here to bathe. But with my hand, this uniform will not remove itself.
You want me to...
It will be like it was when I was a boy, washing away the grime from a long day of adventuring. Oh, how long has it been since I've played in a stream?
Too long?
Too long.
He leans against a tree with a soft sigh, his eyes fixed on the water. I'm grateful for that, for his averted gaze. And he does not see my trembling hands as I slide the coarse grey coat off his frame, as I clumsily untie the laces of his shirt. My face burns as I pull the fabric from his shoulders. I let it drop to the ground with a whisper. He doesn't notice that my face is flushed. He doesn't realise I'm barely breathing. It's my turn. He looks at me expectantly. For years, I've wanted to rid myself of this uniform, this lie I was made to wear, but in this moment, with his piercing eyes waiting for me to bare myself, I falter. My cheeks burn red. I don't want him to see me, but I force my numb fingers to comply. He can't know the truth. I help him to the water. He leans against me and I rest one hand softly on his hip, the other hand gripping his forearm thrown over my shoulders. The bracing water is a stark contrast to the warmth of his body and we both gasp. I trip and we stumble into the stream, but the water is high enough that it swallows us in its safe embrace. We both come up laughing. Suddenly we are young again. We play. The water leaps into the air in sparkling plumes, like diamonds thrown by a careless, wealthy hand. The afternoon sun rains golden upon our skin and sapphires dance in my enemy's eyes. In this moment, I am the richest soul in the world. All I know is joy. And his laughter lights up the forest. I long to turn back the hands of time, to live a life of carefree summers in constant companionship. Our days filled with adventures and heroics. Our battlegrounds only in our imagination. Our guns scavenged branches from the forest floor. Our clothes stained only by mud and juices of ripe berries that missed our mouths. A time before conflict poisoned us. We dry ourselves with the summer sun, our bodies clean, our souls cleaner.
Who is it that you are always talking to? Often, when you think I cannot hear, you converse with someone.
Oh.
Do you think that because I'm shot in the leg and my hand is broken that my ears don't work? I have nothing to do all day but sit and listen. I have heard more things in this forest in the last weeks than I thought possible. I hear you, even when you are far away.
She appears to me sometimes.
Oh. So it is a woman, then? Is she beautiful?
Very.
Your wife?
No.
I see my wife sometimes. She had hair so dark, night itself was envious.
It is not my wife.
Then who is she?
She is radiant, elegant, like a lily. Her hair is like spun gold. She is kind. She is understanding. She cares for people.
She is an angel.
Her name is Evelyn.
Evelyn. It is a beautiful name.
Yes, it is. One night, as we sit by the fire, he sings a song in a language I don't understand. It is a low song, full of longing and regret. His voice rings out clear in the night like a church bell. When he finishes, I say to him, I must ask you a favor.
I owe you my life. But there are things I cannot give you. What favor would you ask of me?
A simple request.
A simple request of a simple man. I will try my best.
If anything happens to me, if I die, you must promise me that
You will not die.
I will. Someday. And this is the most important thing I will ever ask.
Then ask it.
I want to be rid of this uniform. This ill-fitting lie. I want you to burn it. And bury me as far away from the ashes as you can. He is quiet for several breaths. He stares into the fire.
I promise.
The nights begin to turn cold. His leg is almost fully healed. Soon we will have to part ways. The very notion chokes me.
He is not yours. You will have to let him go.
I know.
You should leave now. He's strong enough. He will survive.
But will I?
Yes, you will.
I should leave now.
Yes.
No.
You're walking.
Thanks to you.
The cold will be here soon. I should go. It will be dangerous for both of us.
Nothing is more dangerous than a life without truth. You should stay. The cold is not yet here. You should stay.
Are you not afraid of me?
No. I am not afraid of you. You saved me.
He wraps me in his powerful embrace. He holds me tighter than anyone ever has before. And deep within me, behind walls of shame and doubt, buried under years of self-loathing and hate, the smallest seed breaks open, and a fragile tendril of life begins to grow.
Stay, my friend. Stay.
My grandmother used to tell me, Misha, there is so much love in this world, and it is the greatest thing. She said my heart was made to love and that flowers would bloom wherever I went. There are not many things that I am grateful for in this life. But I am grateful that she never saw me with a gun. They showed up out of nowhere, like ghosts. One moment we were lost in stories and laughter, and the next I was on my knees, a knife at my throat. Their uniforms were grey. They shared his accent. I don't remember much of what he said, just that his beautiful eyes were full of fear, and he kept repeating one word. Friend. And I'd never seen him so sad, so scared, so heartbroken in all the time I'd known him, as when the knife slid across my throat and my blood covered the base of that ancient oak tree. I died watching his blue eyes weeping for me. Maybe that was the best way to die. Time passes, and I sit, propped up against that old oak tree. Now I'm the one who has nothing to do but listen to the forest. For a time I feed the creatures with my body, but eventually they have no use for me and pay me no mind. I'm delighted to see, one day, that flowers are growing, tickling my rib bones. Grandmother was right. I made the world bloom. Seasons pass and I listen. On a warm summer's day, I hear the footfalls of a beast I do not recognize. A human steps into the clearing, walks up to the oak tree where my bones rest, and kneels down before me. There are more wrinkles than I remember, but I would know those eyes anywhere. Cobalt.
My friend, I am here at last. They put me in a cell, in a cold, grey building without life. But our memories of this place warmed my heart and kept me going. They would not break me. had to come back. I had a promise to keep to my friend.
He reaches out and with trembling hands touches the top button of my coat. It falls into his palm with ease, as do the rest. His eyes swim with tears as he slides the tattered fabric from my frame. His rough hands caress my bones as he gently picks me up and cradles me in his arms. Slowly, and with great care, he undresses me. He holds me in his strong embrace as tears snake down the side of his face. They rest for a moment on his jaw, before dropping into the soft shadows on his neck. That night he lights a fire and tosses the rotten remains of my uniform into the flames. The ashes are borne far away into the night. He digs a hole near the oak tree and gently places me into the ground. Before he leaves, he kneels down in the dirt and carves something into the dark wood of the old oak tree. He stands, and I see it is my name. It is my name. It is Evelyn.